From the wee tune, Glen Scotia's bringing us this little gem. NAS 51.5% ABV Victoriana, the throwback.
What is
Hey guys, it is Scotch for Dummies.
4 guys on a Scotch journey to help you with your next Scotch purchase.
I'm excited about this one.
We go to the wee tune.
We've heard some good stuff about this
A
bottle.
lot of good stuff.
A lot of good
But
stuff.
you'll see, there's still a neck pour. None of us have tried this.
Nope. And it's a unique bottle. First of all, it's tall. It's like skinny and tall.
It's the tall boy.
It's a tool boy.
It's got a thick glass. Yeah.
Pour that sucker out.
So it's an expensive NAS. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
almost
darn near-
$100.
Almost $100.
It's no King Alexander, but
Right. Yeah, that's true. Good point. So $95 is what we paid for this.
Be careful with this one. This one's gonna. This will
And
hurt.
I'm excited to see what this brings, right? There's only 3 distilleries down in that part of
that
Scotland,
makes it
right?
a region.
By the way, guys, did you know this is our first Glen Scotia?
Oh,
Well,
Wow, if it's our
first reviewed Glen.
Our first reviewed, which means we got to give you guys a little bit of history about this.
Right,
We haven't gone
right.
through a distillery history in a long time. That used to be standard.
I'm gonna say it opened, and then it was sold or mothballed a few times.
I'm with you on that one.
I bet it was.
This one didn't burn down.
Fair
Oh,
enough.
okay.
Fair enough.
Oh, that's good. That's because it's in a
Is it at
stone-
least haunted?
It's in a stone building.
It is haunted. Yes.
Is it really? Oh my gosh,
Yes.
that's so funny.
No, so established, according to the bottle, established in 1832. Then it went through the story that Sean just said. This one sat mothballed for quite a long time. I want to say, from my research, from reading, it looked like it went mothballed somewhere in the mid to late 50s, 1950s. And it got refurbed in the early 1980s, and they didn't reopen it until 89. So it was mothballed for quite a long time. The current owners are
Loch Lomond.
Loch Lomond Group. Okay.
Loch Lomond.
Loch Lomond.
Sorry.
The high road, the low road.
Loch Lomond.
The other road. So
The
what's
other road.
special about this? Is based on a Victorian style of whiskey?
Glen
Is that the
Scotia
deal?
intended to create a Victorian era classic malt.
What
Now,
does
what does
even
that mean?
What?
It's this is their interpretation of that.
Like what it was back then?
I mean, I'm guessing it's okay. You're not going to have weird sherry finishes. You're not going to be overly peated. You're going to be just that you use the peat to dry it, and that's kind of the. So maybe there's some peat in here. I don't
Okay.
know.
It
But-
looked like they hand selected some casks because it's an NAS, so it's at least 3 years. That's all we know,
Yeah.
right? They hand selected some casks. They finished it in deep charred barrels
Yeah.
to kind of marry everything together, and then it's non-chill filtered, no color added. Basically poured it out of the barrel, diluted it down to what 51.5.
That's
Is
all?
that right? And that's kind of it. That's all they did.
So what do we know about Campbeltown?
It's got the funk.
Normally.
Well,
Typically it's got the funk.
Yeah, so it used to be the whiskey,
Capital
It
of
was
the
a
world.
whiskey capital, yeah.
but now there's only 3 distilleries there, and well, so you got Springbank, which produces Springbank, Hazelburn,
Mm-hmm.
and Longrow, right?
Yep.
And Kilkerran is now down there, and Glen Scotia.
There you
So
go.
those 3 make it a region.
Right.
And Glen Scotia gets a lot of love from a lot of community that we know of.
Absolutely. There's definitely a select niche group of people that are big fans.
Oh, that's nice.
It's a nice nose.
I'm getting some
Oh,
oak on
it's
the nose.
unique.
Salty, briny on the nose.
A little bit. I don't get any funk though.
No,
No,
It's
no.
a
funk.
clean finishing nose. It's
Just classic.
It's like a classic malt.
I want to say briny, but not like
Right.
sea briny. It's
Sodium.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like they took the salt shaker.
I was just gonna say.
I don't know
reminds
what else
him
to
of
say.
Yeah.
A
Salt.
throwback to like a Victorian style.
It's a salt shaker.
When I was living in the Victorian era, this is reminiscent of the Scotch I tried
That's right.
in my previous life.
Tastes like a corset.
It's got.
No.
Yeah, there's definitely some kind of seeding going on in there.
Oh man,
Wow. So sweet up front. Lemony.
Yeah. Great.
but then it fades into like it's got some old tobacco and like old leather and books.
It is oily too.
It
is
is,
definitely.
and that's a That is a long finish. It's
Wow.
still going.
It brings it, guys. Man, there's a lot going on. That's a mouthful.
It feels heavily sherried. I mean,
It's
that
definitely got
nose.
ABV too. Sorry. You think sherry?
It smells really sherry. After I take that sip,
I gotta sit on this for a second.
I did
it's
too.
supposedly
Wow.
not. I assume it's not heavily sherry, but
What's it do to the nose after taking this?
$95, boys. NAS, Glen Scotia.
this is a whiskey you walk up to and go, "Wow." I mean, it is. You take a sip of it and it just.
Hello,
Do
lover.
you know exactly what it tastes like? What the flavor profile is? Not necessarily, but when you taste, you're like, "Oh, all right. Let's talk about this."
It's almost like, not that I was going to hurry through the review, but I mean, it's a review. We got to be kind of quick about it. And you take a sip and you're like, oh, well, I'm going to sit back and really, like, this has a lot going on. You need to pay attention. It's bigger and bolder and more things happening than you thought it was on the nose.
And after you had that sip, then you go back in the nose, and then it's easier to kind of get more flavors because you've got some palate going on with it as well.
Yeah.
'Cause I got Tootsie Roll in the nose right now. If you dig for it.
Tootsie Roll.
Yeah, I get that. Kind of that artificial chocolate.
Yeah. I can
It's
see
because
that.
it's just a hint of it.
Because
there.
it's an overly sweet chocolate.
A little bit of that, a hint of licorice. It's got like a tangy quality to it.
If you open a Tootsie Roll, add some salt to it,
I get you.
and
yeah.
I don't know what, maybe some honey or something. I don't know. That's what I'm getting on the nose. But
So
but it's not like super, deep or anything.
Well,
I'm
trying to
telling
think
you
of-
though, I get that dried tobacco.
Yeah,
I definitely get it in
Yeah,
there.
that's probably the
on the
same.
palate or on the nose.
It's in the nose.
both.
So
Both.
what does that heavily charred oak cask do for the whiskey when you put it in there?
To me, I think that heavily charred cask is going to help it marry together. It's going to take some of the, I don't want to say impurities, but you're going to have some disjointed
It
things
will.
going on between casks. And I think that heavily charred barrel, when you put it in there, just kind of lets things marry up probably a little bit quicker than normal.
Yeah.
Because of the heavy charring. You've got all that charcoal in
Yeah,
there. So it's
that's
gonna-
exactly
it's
what I was
gonna
thinking.
filter
It is. It's like a charcoal filter. It pulls
Oh,
out
wow.
some of those really small volatiles and things that kind of put the edges on whiskey. Because this is a non-age, it's young, so you have to assume it's going to have those young edges, and maybe that heavily charred cask
Is
pulls
it-
some of those out.
Is it too soon for me to say that every time I take a sip, this whiskey goes up like
It's sweet.
at
It's so
least
sweet
a
on
half
the
a
nose.
finger in score?
Yeah, it's pretty good right
It's,
now. It's gonna score pretty good.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
very nice whiskey.
I actually am excited to put some water in. I think the water's really gonna open it up.
And I will say that at 51.5, I mean, it's got a little bit of heat, but it's not overwhelming.
No,
I mean,
it's not.
it doesn't detract from the flavor of the whiskey.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about putting some water on it.
Right. But I think
Anybody
you're right.
getting any peat? I'm not.
No.
Okay.
I get a
Ooh,
little bit of a,
sweetened it up
a
even
tangy
more.
quality, but it's more like it's not a heavy thing.
Let's sit for a second.
This is almost getting sickly sweet to me. It's almost dripping, cloyingly sweet.
Yeah.
The nose is really getting sweet.
I want to hit it with a
Like you
little
said,
bit more.
oversweetened chocolate.
Yep.
It's getting a little bit too sweet for me.
Ooh.
Now I don't know.
Well, that's
what
the
it is.
way they took it back in
Maybe.
the Victorian times.
Like a Tootsie Roll?
If you're new to the channel, you're watching. We're putting coins on our glasses here. They help kind of keep things going and stay in the glass. But if you're interested, we all have our individual Scotch coins, and you can get them at scotchfordummies.com. FYI.
Gosh,
We
there's
need
a
to
lot
bring
of sugar
coins over
smell in there.
We do.
It's with the water. It's so much sweeter than it was.
Really?
Yeah,
I
It
think
is.
so.
It's like
Oh man.
Oh,
simple syrup.
dang, that's good nose.
The chocolate though is nice though.
I get. Does anybody else get like it's like fruity and floral now? It's not quite the same sweet as
I
it
can
was
smell
before.
the floral. It's on top.
Ooh, that water really rounds it out nicely.
It's so honey. It's like drinking diluted honey right now. Maybe that's the sweet, and of course the honey's going to have all those florals in it too.
But is it too sweet? Is it like, are we getting
Nope.
over the top sweet?
Nope.
The
Wow.
palate, no.
Nope.
The nose, maybe a little. Again, give it a second.
I feel like I might be missing something on the palate.
All right. I got to get this just a little bit longer.
Yep.
At 51.5, it takes a little while.
I want to give it just a second. I want to have one more sip, and then I'm ready.
Right, I'm close.
Yep. Yep. I'm dialing it in. It's a very interesting bottle.
$95.
I got to be honest. At the point right now, I wish I had tasted more Glen Scotias because I want to see if some of these things that I'm tasting are that new make profile, the Glen Scotia profile. Since we haven't reviewed any, I don't have a profile of it. You know.
Right.
I mean.
Yeah. It really helps you in your decision
absolutely.
making.
You know, if I pour a Deanston out, you know a Deanston profile in your head. You know there's something in there that you're going to get every time.
Yeah.
Well, this is new to me, so it's kind of tricking me here.
I think it's better neat.
I think you're right so far.
I think I've lost some of that. Oh, you get when you drink it. Now that it's got water on it.
It's different.
Yeah.
Different but same.
But not as good.
I don't know, man.
I'm with you.
All right.
Maybe I put too much water on it.
I didn't put much in.
I'm ready.
Go for it.
Okay. Anybody that is critical of an NAS whiskey, I challenge you to pull up a chair at the bar and have a glass of this. I'm very happy with this whiskey. I will say that the nose neat. I didn't really get much out of it, and I think it just needed time to open up a little bit and kind of air out because we just opened up the bottle, and I think it was just a little bit closed. The first sip, though, was spectacular. I mean, like, you had to sit down if you weren't sitting down spectacular. Really, I mean, it just kind of set you back because I wasn't expecting it because the nose didn't really kind of come at me, and the flavor on that first sip just really kind of punches you in the face. I really enjoyed it with water too. I thought the nose got more interesting. I put water on it twice now. The first time I watered it down, it was sweet, almost like drinking honey. I mean, it got very sweet. The second time, I got like a tangerine nose. I don't know where that even came from because I didn't get tangerines anywhere else. Second time I put water on it, there's tangerines in there. So, I mean, it's a big whiskey. It's 51.5, so it can hold some water. It can do the things that it needs to do. I enjoyed it just because it's got enough flavor going on and there's enough interest in it that it's going to keep you intrigued with the whiskey. I'm going to keep going back and having another sip. It's got a nice long finish, though, so it keeps things rolling. I'm going to give it a 3.5. I really like this glass. And I like it neat. I like it with water. I didn't find any faults in it at all. So...
Wow.
You ready?
I
can just keep talking about it for a while if you need me to.
I can just keep enjoying this glass for a while too. So this one came out of the gate. I mean, from first sip, I was like, "Uh-oh," you know. This one might be running for the top here. It's really, really surprising. Yes, it's an NAS. Some people will balk at that, and if you do, I'm sorry. Because
we'll take your bottle.
Yeah, you're missing out. But I'm also pleasantly surprised with some of the people that recommended us to do this. Some of our subscribers and patrons that said, you know, you guys need to try this. Thank you for pushing it on us because it's really good. I actually preferred it better neat, but I enjoyed it with water. I think the water it did change. It was different. Yep. It did smooth out the finish. It wasn't quite as edgy, but neat. I liked that little bit of edge. It was a little bit more of a punch. I liked that nose neat. It was much more deep. Drew hit it with some of that Tootsie Roll, and there was definitely some sweetness. But neat on the nose. If I really got in there, I could get that dried tobacco note that I was really enjoying. Yeah. Now, when I put water on it, boy, did it get even sweeter. I was like, holy moly! Could it get sweeter? Yes, it did. But it's spectacular. Now, I just put a little more neat on top of this to bring it back. I'm going to give it a 3.5. I'm going to give it a 3.5 right now. I'm going to give it a 3.5 right now. Okay? So we got two more guys to get through, but we'll see what happens because this is a long drinker, you guys. That's one thing that I really appreciate about it. You can pour this and enjoy this glass for a long time. You're not going to burn through this one. And, of course, at $95, maybe you don't want to burn through it because that is a little salty on the price for an NAS, but 3.5 from me. All right.
So to me, this was much better neat by far. While it's neat, you get like black tea bitterness, and you get some of that chocolate sweetness, and it balances pretty well with the sweetness and the bitterness. It is got that definitely two-dimension through the nose and palate. Now, my concern is when you add the water, it really, it all becomes sweet. And what I did just before when they were talking, I took a neat sample, drank it, let it coat and go through my mouth, and it was all that bitterness and bittersweet chocolate kind of that flavor. And then I put a bunch of water in what was left in the glass, and it was all honey. And so while I kind of appreciate that, it's not always what I want. So this would be a neat whiskey for me. This would not be a wet whiskey. I wouldn't put it on rocks. I wouldn't put water on it because it's really good neat, but it's not great with water. So this is between a 2.5 and a 3 for me because neat every day.
You gotta pick one, man.
I'm gonna
Do what your gut says.
go with 3. And the reason I say 3 is because it is really good neat, and I just keep away from the water, and you're good to go.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
So
go down.
here's the
Look
thing.
at this smile, man.
I think he's
Look,
happy about
he
bringing
was
back
taking
the-
notes and
the-
stuff.
I really wanted to spend some time with this one because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm a little disjointed from you guys. I think I'm more in line with you, to be honest with you. Don't get me wrong, it's delicious. It's a good dram, but I'm really trying to be more critical on my pricing and everything else I've been doing this year. And I think for what I'm getting, listen, the nose, I said it earlier, salted Tootsie Roll. I had to dig for it. You saw me go probably a couple of times. I'm really trying to get in there. I'm like, is there anything crazy on the nose? I'm getting it's like a 2.0. It's like nothing crazy on the nose. I'm not getting all the
Better
other
than 2 on
things.
the nose.
Well, I'm not.
Neat.
I'm not getting much in the nose. Just me personally.
Okay.
But one thing I do want to say is, and I marked it down, is, man, this is oily. The finish.
I love that.
I am sitting here. I'm still like, wow. I feel like I just had some sardines or something. It's just still chewing on this, right?
Good, man.
It is good.
It is good meat.
It
It is good meat.
and it's salty. It's briny at the end, and it's so sweet up front. Like, it's almost too sweet. Like I'm missing something. But so it's good. I like it. I'm waffling between a 2.5 and a 3. And the reason I'm waffling is because of that price. For $95, am I gonna go grab this off the shelf? I mean, I would drink it. I do like it. The price is a little high.
Go.
But I think it's worth a 3 for the price. I mean, it's good. I think to your point, if I let this sit here, I think it's going to get even better. And I'm still kind of wavering, but I'm going to say 3 right now on camera.
Don't
I will
make,
say
don't,
this.
Don't make us influence.
I'm happy I bought a bottle when we bought this one.
I'm going to call out right now that when we come back to this on Thursday and it's had a chance to kind of air out a little bit, that you and I will have wished we would have gone to a 4, and those two would have wished they had gone to a 3.5.
No,
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so because when you added that water, you
He's absolutely right.
lost all the complexity.
He's absolutely right.
That's why it's at 51.8 because they said, "Oh, you don't put that at 46 because it's going to
Now,
not be good."
Don't get me wrong. It's also based on your palate. My palate, if you know my palate with decent 20s and more complexity, I'm going to give those higher in value as well. This one does not give me all that complexity.
Because our palates prefer complexity.
That's right. These guys are bleh.
You know what? I'll take this
Bleh.
complexity all day
Oh,
long.
it's so funny. I love
All right,
day
so go
long.
around again. I have no idea what we did.
3.5. 3.5.
it. 3.25.
3.25.
So this is definitely something you want to put on your bar. Definitely
Absolutely.
something to have.
It's a good bottle.
Yep.
It really is.
For
I'm excited
sub
to get into
$100.
the Glen Scotia. I want to get into more to your point because I
Right.
don't know what we're getting into yet.
Yep.
I actually
It's a
have
good
a
starter.
couple of SMWS Glen Scotia.
Well, that's the only
that
ones
would
we've
be-
had of the
right.
SMWS one.
But I mean, they'd be good to pour against this one, so
Sure.
you could try to pull out that Glen Scotia
Yeah.
profile.
Is there a
That's-
profile? Yeah.
That's what we're looking for.
Okay.
Anyway,
All right.
325 guys. Thursday nights live shows. We'll be getting into this when we show this review.
You got it.
Patrons,
like and subscribe.
We love it.
thanks.
See you
everybody.
guys
Thursday.
Cheers, guys.